This is a special news report and commentary from the All Sides News Network. During his campaign, President-elect Donald Trump made promises to his supporters that if elected, he would hire a special prosecutor to investigate Hillary Clinton's use of a private email server. Let's take a look.
I think Hillary is very weak. I think she's pathetic. I think she should be in jail for what she did with her emails, okay? She should be in jail.
Hillary Clinton should be in jail. You know it. The FBI director knows it. Everybody else knows it. She should be in jail. If I win, I am going to instruct my Attorney General to get a special prosecutor to look into your situation.
It's just awfully good that someone with the temperament of Donald Trump is not in charge of the law in our country.
Because you'd be in jail.
Secretary Clinton.
She should be locked up. She should.
However, after winning the election, it appears that Mr. Trump is now backing off of his campaign promise. When asked in a 60 Minutes interview whether he would follow through on his campaign promise to appoint a special prosecutor, Mr. Trump replied, "I'll think about it." Mr. Trump further stated that he does not want to hurt Mrs. Clinton and that she is good people.
Look, there's a tradition in American politics that after you win an election, you sort of put things behind you, and if that's the decision he reached, that's perfectly consistent with sort of a historical pattern.
So now we ask you, are campaign promises important? Should candidates be obligated to fulfill the promises made to the voters in order to win an election? Or can they just change their mind and do whatever they want once they're in office? Is it hypocritical to make specific promises to voters and then renege on the promises after being elected? Whether you think Ms. Clinton should be investigated or not, millions of voters voted for Mr. Trump based in part upon his promise to hire a special prosecutor. There's no list of campaign promises on a ballot where voters can check which ones they like and which ones they don't like, or indicate why they're voting for a particular candidate. We know of no poll or study that would give Donald Trump reason to believe that the voters voted for him, but really did not want him to appoint a special prosecutor as he promised countless times during the campaign. Mr. Trump stated very clearly in a debate that he would not challenge the election results if he won. However, he made no such condition on his promise to appoint a special prosecutor. At no time during any debate or any of his speeches did Mr. Trump say, "I will appoint a special prosecutor to investigate Hillary Clinton's use of a private email server, unless I later choose not to." It was a promise to the American people, a promise upon which they relied upon in deciding whether or not to vote for Mr. Trump. If political candidates cannot be held to their promises during campaigns, then what's the point? Why have debates? Why have speeches? Just list the names on a ballot, and we'll pick which ones we want. It doesn't matter because they're going to do whatever they want anyway when they get into office. And while I have no opinion as to whether Ms. Clinton should be investigated or jailed for her use of a private email server, I do have an opinion as to whether candidates should be held to their campaign promises. Making a promise to someone who relies upon that promise to perform an act, and then reneging on your promise after the act was performed, is fraud. It is the textbook definition of promissory fraud. If I ask you to shovel my driveway and promise to pay you $10 when you're done, and then renege on my promise and not pay you any money, haven't I committed fraud and breach of contract? In the presidential election, the public actually votes for electoral college representatives who promise to vote a certain way if they are elected. Since the candidates are not held to their promises, should the presidential electors in the electoral college be held to their promises? Are those electors now permitted to vote for whomever they choose because Mr. Trump has not fulfilled his campaign promises? And to be clear, I am not advocating for or against the appointment of a special prosecutor against Ms. Clinton. I am merely saying that candidates should be held to their promises made during campaigns. Otherwise, what's the point? If you agree or disagree, please comment below.